Every morning, as you sip your coffee and sunlight slowly creeps across the floor, there's a quiet corner in your living room that's easy to overlook. A space behind a chair, near a lamp, or beside a shelf where dust settles and air rarely stirs. For many, it's the forgotten corner, the one that seems harmless, neutral. But according to Feng Shui, that exact spot might be the reason your money energy keeps leaking away. It's not about having the jade plant. It's about where you let it live. You see, most people place their jade plant wherever it fits best, near the window for sun, beside the couch for balance, or simply wherever looks nice. But the truth is, when this money plant is placed in the wrong spot, it becomes nothing more than silent decoration. Beautiful, yes, but powerless. And here's where it gets real. The wrong position doesn't just limit its energy, it can actually block wealth from entering your space. Think of it like a faucet turned off at the valve. The source is there, but nothing flows. In Feng Shui, wealth isn't only about effort or opportunity. It's also about flow. Energy moves like water. And just as you wouldn't place a cup upside down to collect rain, you shouldn't let your plant sit in a space that cuts off abundance. But what if the solution is simpler than you think? What if, with just a small shift, a move of a few feet, you could tap into a quiet current of prosperity already waiting in your home? So let me ask you, when you look around your living room right now, is your jade plant where it looks good, or where it works? This simple question could mean the difference between a home that holds energy and one that quietly lets it slip away. Part 1, the corner where wealth enters isn't the most visible one. You don't need to be a Feng Shui expert to feel it. The way some corners in your home feel stale while others hum with life. Walk through your living room slowly and notice. Is there a space that seems oddly still, a little heavier, like it hasn't been breathed into for a while? That's not just clutter or bad lighting. That's stagnant energy. And if your jade plant, your so-called money magnet, is sitting in that forgotten zone, you might be unintentionally blocking the very flow of abundance you hope to attract. Here's the truth most people don't know. In Feng Shui, wealth energy doesn't gather in the center of attention. It flows toward quiet, stable, and energetically open corners. The jade plant, known for symbolizing financial growth, only activates its power when placed where energy naturally pools and circulates. And this spot, it's often not the most photogenic or obvious part of your room. It's the southeast corner, the one most people overlook. Ironically, it might be partially hidden behind a recliner, wedged next to a TV stand, or swallowed by an oversized bookshelf. Yet that exact space, if freed and honored, could shift the entire energetic current of your home. Now, before you run to grab a compass, take a moment to understand why this matters. Feng Shui is not a superstition. It's an observation of how your space interacts with your life. Think about how certain rooms feel more inspiring, how some cafes make you want to linger, or why sitting in one chair feels more calming than another. That's energy flow, and your living room is the heart of that current. It's where outside energy enters and meets your personal space. If the jade plant is placed here correctly, it becomes a quiet conductor of prosperity. But if it's just somewhere that looks good, the energy gets trapped, misdirected, or lost. To find the true southeast corner, you don't need anything fancy, just a basic compass or even your phone. Stand in the center of your living room, hold the compass flat, turn slowly until it points southeast. That's it, no mystery, just precision. Once located, observe the space. Is it clean? Does it receive light? Is there anything blocking the flow? Like a pile of papers, an unused lamp, or a storage bin? Because even if it's technically correct, a cluttered or dark southeast corner cancels the energetic benefits. You wouldn't plant seeds in dry, rocky soil and expect a garden. So why expect abundance to grow in a corner that suffocates light and motion? This isn't about aesthetics, it's about alignment. When your jade plant is placed in that southeast corner, in a space that is bright, open, and respected, it becomes more than decor. It becomes a signal, a physical daily reminder that you're open to receiving, not just hoping for luck, but actively inviting it in. And that invitation starts with a decision, not based on design, not on guesswork, but on intention. So again, look at your plant, look at your room, and ask yourself, have I been giving my wealth energy the backseat? Or have I created a space that says clearly, this home welcomes abundance, and here's where it knows to arrive? Part 2, a plant needs light, just like we need direction. Your jade plant may be alive, but is it truly thriving, or just surviving in silence? Look closely at its leaves. Are they vibrant and glossy or dull and tired? Is it leaning toward the light, straining for energy it can't quite reach? A plant, much like a person, can only grow when it's placed where it can breathe. And in Feng Shui, the energy a plant receives isn't only about sunlight. It's about the kind of space you offer it, one that allows energy to land, settle, and expand. When you place your jade plant in a space that is dim, chaotic, or exposed to harsh drafts, you're not just giving it poor conditions. You're sending a quiet signal that wealth isn't being cared for. Because in this practice, the jade plant isn't just a plant. It's a stand-in for how you treat your own sense of stability, growth, and prosperity. Imagine placing something precious on a shaky stool in a dark hallway. Would it last? Now imagine giving that same object a stable shelf, beneath soft morning light, surrounded by air that moves gently but never disruptively. That's the difference between placing a jade plant with intention and simply finding it a convenient spot. Plants absorb energy from their surroundings, and the jade plant in particular holds onto what's around it. If placed in a noisy area, near vents, fans, or right under an air conditioner, it absorbs agitation. If stuck in a lifeless shadow, it reflects the stagnation back into your space. And over time, your home begins to carry that same unsettled energy. Erratic finances, unstable emotions, unclear paths. The right spot for a jade plant is quiet but not isolated, peaceful but not forgotten, bright but not scorched. Ideally, it's near natural light or under a soft, warm bulb that mimics sunrise. It should be away from slamming doors, blasting heat, or cold drafts. Most importantly, it needs something behind it. A wall, a wooden cabinet, a solid piece of furniture. This is called a backing in Feng Shui, and it acts like a mountain. A place where energy can rest, not scatter. Without this support, the plant and your intentions feel exposed, unstable, floating. Think of yourself for a moment. When you're trying something new, where do you thrive? In chaos or in calm? In a storm of noise or with steady support? The jade plant is no different. Give it a spot that says, you belong here, you're supported here, you matter here. And that energy becomes mirrored in your life. Your work becomes steadier, your choices clearer, your sense of flow stronger. There's one more thing: don't confuse visibility with power. A plant doesn't need to be in the center of the room to work. It doesn't need to catch everyone's eye. Its strength comes from being aligned with the energy of the space, not the decoration of it. In fact, Feng Shui often teaches that true wealth gathers in the corners, not on center stage. It prefers peace over display, depth over flash. So before you worry about pot color or matching your decor, ask yourself this: is the space where my jade plant sits one that breathes? One that invites, supports, and flows? Because just like us, plants don't thrive in performance. They thrive in presence, and your wealth energy isn't looking for applause, it's looking for a home. Part 3, the red string ritual, marking a whispered promise. You've probably walked into a room that looked perfectly designed, stylish furniture, soft lighting, clean floors, and yet something felt off. Not wrong, just unsettled. Like the space was holding its breath. You couldn't explain it, but you didn't want to stay long. That's the quiet power of imbalance. It doesn't shout, it hums beneath the surface, and it doesn't just happen inside. It begins right outside your front door. In energy work, balance isn't about symmetry, it's about movement, about making sure nothing gets stuck. That's why a garden full of plants can still feel empty. That's why two perfectly healthy trees can either nourish your space or weigh it down. The difference isn't the species, it's how they interact. Because in every space, just like in every life, what's missing isn't more, it's balance. And when it comes to energetic balance, few combinations are as gentle and powerful as magnolia and jasmine. Magnolia holds inward energy. It's stable, grounding, like a breath that brings you back to center. Jasmine carries outward energy. It reaches, softens, connects. On their own, each flower brings something healing. But together, when placed in opposing corners of a garden or balcony, they create what ancient traditions call a yin-yang flow. Not a concept, a feeling, like the way a breeze moves through open windows, like a conversation where both people finally feel heard. This balance isn't metaphorical, it's physical. When you place magnolia in the east, where the morning sun first breaks, you're anchoring yang energy, beginnings, momentum, strength. When you place jasmine in the northeast, you're honoring yin energy, reflection, connection, peace. The garden becomes a dialogue, not just between plants, but between you and the space you live in. You'll feel the shift slowly. The first time you water both flowers on the same day. The moment you realize the air between them feels clearer, easier to breathe. You may not be able to name what's different, you just know it feels right, like something has clicked into place without needing your full understanding. But this isn't magic, it's resonance. Energy always seeks coherence. When you place two living things in a way that supports their nature, they respond, and so does everything around them. You might notice fewer arguments at home, better focus in the afternoons, a gentler rhythm to your mornings. That's not coincidence. That's balance settling into your environment like mist on warm grass. And if you're thinking, I don't have space for all this, remember, balance isn't about size. You don't need a sprawling garden or landscaped yard. A small balcony, a porch corner, even a windowsill can hold this pairing. It's not the distance between them, it's the intention behind their placement. Even a 6-foot gap between a potted jasmine and a magnolia tree can carry a current strong enough to shift the energy of your entire home. But it only works when you plant with presence, not out of routine. Not just because you watched a video, but because you understand that your home is alive and you're in relationship with it. These flowers aren't ornaments, they're guides. And when you position them as such, they'll show you things you didn't know you needed to hear. Like when to slow down, when to ask for help, when to open the windows not just for air, but for perspective. Because the goal isn't to decorate your home, it's to harmonize it, and harmony is a lived experience. You feel it when you walk barefoot across a floor that doesn't echo, when you wake up and the morning doesn't demand anything from you, when your home, for once, gives more than it takes. That's what a pair of flowers can do. Not by being perfect, not by blooming every day, but by standing where they belong, facing the directions that honor their nature, supporting each other in silence like you wish the people in your life would. So next time you think about adding something to your space, ask yourself, is this completing something or just filling space? Because two plants placed with care can do what no renovation can, bring your home back into rhythm with you. Part 4, burying coins to keep wealth from floating away. Wealth doesn't just enter a space, it needs a reason to stay. Just like rain evaporates without roots to hold it, abundance can pass through your home if there's nothing anchoring it in place. That's where the ritual of burying coins beneath your jade plant begins. Quiet, grounded, intentional. In Feng Shui, 3 ancient coins represent the unity of heaven, earth, and humanity. When buried in the soil of your money plant, they act like anchors, holding prosperity energy steady so it doesn't just arrive and vanish. This isn't about superstition, it's about symbolism. Coins, especially those modeled after imperial Chinese coins with a square hole in the middle, carry a shape that represents balance. The circle is heaven, the square is earth. When placed beneath something alive like the jade plant, they help form a complete cycle. Intention, grounding, growth. You're not just hiding metal in dirt. You're planting a statement. Let this wealth take root. To begin, choose 3 coins that feel meaningful. They don't need to be expensive or antique. Just clean, clearly marked, and handled with purpose. If you can, rinse them with salt water or smoke them lightly with incense to clear any lingering energy. This step isn't mandatory, but it helps reset the coins so they don't carry old vibrations into your space. You're giving them a new role. When you're ready, gently dig into the soil, just 1 to 2 inches deep. Bury the coins in a triangular pattern if possible. This triangle is powerful. It symbolizes harmony between the sky, the earth, and you, the one placing them. If space is limited, placing them close together still holds value. What matters most isn't perfection, it's presence. The act of placing these coins can be as sacred or as simple as you want. You don't need a script. You don't need to make a big production, just a breath, a thought, a pause that marks the moment. Perhaps a quiet phrase like "let fortune stay," or "this home holds what it receives." You're not summoning luck, you're giving it a home, one that feels cared for, not just decorated. Over time, those buried coins work silently. You may not see them again for months, even years, but their presence shifts something invisible. It's like installing a foundation under a house. You don't notice it every day, but you feel the difference when the winds rise. And if ever you move the plant, you can unearth the coins, cleanse them, and begin again in a new space. Here, that's what's often overlooked. Abundance doesn't need noise. It doesn't respond to panic, greed, or flash. What it listens to is consistency. The quiet, repeated choice to create a space that supports your growth. And when you bury coins with sincerity, you're not just signaling to your environment. You're telling yourself, I'm ready to receive, and I know how to hold what comes. So ask yourself, not if you believe in rituals or symbolism, But this, what am I doing today to ground the things I say I want? What part of me needs roots, not wings? Because sometimes, keeping wealth isn't about chasing more. It's about creating a place where what arrives can finally stay. Part 5. Clean leaves, clean energy. A jade plant covered in dust is more than a neglected decoration. It's a mirror. One that quietly reflects the forgotten corners of your energy, the places you've stopped tending to, the intentions left sitting still. When its leaves are dulled, so is the energy it's meant to carry. And in Feng Shui, that matters deeply. Because energy doesn't just live in things, it moves through them. If your money plant is clouded with grime, it's not just gathering dust. It's absorbing the weight of stagnant thoughts, leftover tension, and invisible heaviness in your home. Think about what happens when you wipe a window. Suddenly, light pours through, shapes become clear. The space feels different, even if nothing else changes. The same is true for your plant. Each leaf acts like a little receptor of qi or life force. And when you wipe them clean, you're not just helping the plant photosynthesize better. You're clearing pathways for energy to enter, circulate, and rise. The process is simple but intentional. Take a soft cloth, cotton or microfiber works best. Dip it in grapefruit-infused water or diluted ginger water. Both carry natural cleansing properties. Grapefruit is bright, uplifting, and known in energy work for cutting through heaviness. Ginger adds warmth and movement, like turning on a gentle internal fire. You don't need to soak the leaves, just glide the cloth gently, one leaf at a time. As you do, allow yourself to slow down, to breathe, to be fully present with the act. This isn't a chore, it's a reset, and it's not just for the plant. It's for the space around it and for you. As your fingers move over each surface, you might feel something shift. Not just dirt being removed, but a kind of mental static clearing. Some people find it meditative. Others simply feel lighter after. But one thing is certain, the plant will respond. Within days, you'll see more sheen, more life, and more importantly, you'll feel that corner of your home begin to breathe again. You can do this monthly. The first day of the month is a good marker, or the full moon if you enjoy natural rhythms. But more than timing, what matters is attention. A rushed wipe won't move energy, but a mindful touch will. It sends a message: this plant matters. This space matters. This intention is still alive. Let this be your quiet ritual, one that doesn't require words but speaks volumes. You're not asking for wealth in that moment, you're showing you're ready for it. You're making room, clearing channels, softening the energy that's been sitting too long. And just like a leaf shines after dust is wiped away, your energy begins to glow too. Sometimes prosperity doesn't come from adding more, but from polishing what's already there. So next time you pass by your jade plant and see a fine film of dust across its leaves, ask yourself, what else in my life needs this kind of gentle clearing? What truth, what goal, what vision have I let sit in the shadows? Because wealth isn't always hiding. It's often waiting for us to wipe the window clean and let it in. Part 6. Watering between 5-7 a.m. The golden window for energy. There's something sacred about the hours between 5 and 7 in the morning. The world hasn't fully woken. The air feels thinner, quieter, untouched. Light hasn't yet flooded the room, but it's beginning to. In Feng Shui, this is called the golden window, a moment when energy or qi is at its purest. It's rising, spreading, opening. And if you water your jade plant during this time, you're not just giving it hydration. You're giving it access to an undisturbed current of life energy, the same flow that sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people water plants whenever it's convenient, midday, afternoon, sometimes even at night. But those times are full of noise. The energy is scattered. You're rushing to work, answering messages, thinking ahead. When you water in that state, you're pouring stress into the soil. And the plant, sensitive as it is, absorbs all of it. But at 5 a.m., things are different. The air is still. Your thoughts haven't spun out yet. The energy around you is uncluttered. What you pour into the plant isn't just water, it's calm, clarity, and intention. There's no special ritual required, no long meditation, just presence. Walk to your jade plant in silence. Let your body move slowly. Use clean water, filtered or rainwater if possible, always room temperature. Never cold, never hot. As you pour, say something simple. Let today begin in peace. Or wealth flows easily. Or nothing at all if silence feels more honest. The point isn't the words, it's the attention. The way your hand moves, the way your breath slows, the way time seems to pause while you care for something that depends on you. You'll begin to notice a change, not just in the plant, but in your relationship to prosperity. This tiny act becomes a tether, a daily signal that you're not only hoping for abundance, you're feeding it gently, consistently when the world is most quiet. And what starts as a drop becomes a rhythm. After a few days, your mornings shift. The energy in your home becomes lighter. Money doesn't just feel like a distant hope, it starts to feel near, like a current just beneath the surface. One caution: don't overdo it. This isn't about volume. You're not flooding the plant. You're offering just enough to sustain, to support. Let the soil be moist, not soaked. Prosperity, like a plant, needs room to breathe. Too much force, even with good intent, can drown the very thing you're trying to nurture. And if you ever skip a morning, don't judge yourself. This isn't about perfection. It's about resonance, reconnecting as often as you can with kindness. Because the energy you pour into your jade plant at dawn is the same energy you're inviting into your life. So before the world calls your name, before the coffee brews and the emails start, step into the stillness. Pour a little water. Say a little nothing. And feel how even the smallest ritual done with care can carry wealth into your day. Part 7. 3 places where your plant absorbs the wrong energy. Not every corner in your home is safe for a money plant. Just because there's space doesn't mean there's support. And when it comes to your jade plant, the living symbol of prosperity, where you place it doesn't only determine what it attracts, it shapes what it absorbs. Energy, like water, follows the path it's given. If your plant is positioned where heavy, chaotic, or draining energy collects, it won't channel abundance. It will quietly take in confusion, exhaustion, and stagnation, and reflect those qualities right back into your space. Let's begin with the bathroom. It might seem harmless, especially if it's bright or spacious. But in Feng Shui, bathrooms are considered drain zones. Their entire function revolves around flushing, removing, washing away. Every time the toilet is used, the sink runs, or the door opens, you're releasing water-based energy out of your home. When a jade plant sits near this zone, whether beside the door, on a shelf across from it, or even backed up against the bathroom wall, it slowly begins to absorb that downward pull. Over time, the leaves lose luster. The plant may seem fine, but energetically it's exhausted. And symbolically, so is your wealth. Prosperity slips away not in a dramatic collapse, but in small, unnoticed trickles. Next is the bedroom. It's a peaceful space, perfect for rest, but not for growth. Feng Shui sees bedrooms as yin spaces, quiet, slow, inward. The energy here is meant to settle, not move. And your jade plant, as a yang object, vibrant, dynamic, and tied to external flow, doesn't thrive in that stillness. Even if it stays green, its energetic role fades. It can no longer act as a bridge for opportunities or financial momentum. Worse, if the person sleeping in the room is emotionally drained, sick, or heavy with stress, the plant absorbs those vibrations like a sponge. Instead of activating wealth, it starts absorbing sorrow. Finally, the kitchen, warm, busy, full of life, but also full of fire. The kitchen is the heart of transformation. But its heat, steam, and movement represent the fire element in excess. The jade plant, being of the wood element, is naturally weakened in this environment. Fire burns wood. So placing your money plant near the stove, oven, or even adjacent to hot appliances like the microwave or dishwasher throws it out of balance. Over time, you might see its leaves shrivel, the soil dry too fast, or the plant becomes stunted. Symbolically, it's like trying to nurture savings while surrounded by constant consumption. The energy of growth is being cooked away. So what can you do if your plant is already in one of these spots? First, don't panic. Energy can be redirected. Move the plant to a brighter, more peaceful area, ideally near natural light, with stable air and a solid backing. If moving isn't immediately possible, use soft partitions to create a buffer. A wooden screen between the plant and the bathroom, a tall object separating it from the stove, or even a salt bowl nearby to absorb heavy energy. Think of these as energetic umbrellas, temporary but helpful. Above all, remember, your jade plant isn't just surviving on sunlight and water. It lives on the energy of its surroundings, just like you do. And when you honor that, even in small ways, your home starts to feel lighter, calmer, aligned. Sometimes, prosperity isn't about adding more. It's about removing what quietly drains the good that's already there. By now you've seen that placing a jade plant isn't just about decoration or tradition. It's about alignment. Not just the alignment of directions, elements, or colors, but the alignment between your intention and your space. The plant becomes a mirror, a subtle communicator, a quiet pulse in the room that either flows with you or pushes against you. And in that still, green presence lies something surprisingly powerful. The way your outer world shapes your inner rhythm, and vice versa. When you place your jade plant in the right corner, one that is light-filled, quiet, stable, you're not simply following Feng Shui. You're choosing to treat prosperity as something real, not abstract. You're no longer wishing for abundance in theory. You're making room for it. When you tie a red string with presence, bury coins with respect, wipe leaves with care, and water in stillness, you're not practicing magic. You're creating coherence between thought and action, between space and energy, between who you are and what you're calling in. This is where science and ancient wisdom quietly meet. Environments affect behavior, clutter increases stress. Light influences mood, stillness calms the nervous system. None of this is mystical, it's measurable. But the deeper truth is what you do with that knowledge. Do you let your space happen by default, or do you shape it with intention? Do you fill corners just to fill them, or do you create room for energy to breathe, settle, and grow? The jade plant won't make you wealthy, not by itself, but when treated with care, it becomes part of a larger equation. A small but consistent signal that says, this space supports growth, this home invites abundance, this life is aligned. And that message, repeated each day through simple action, begins to echo. So as you glance at your jade plant tomorrow morning, don't ask, is it working yet? Ask instead, is my space in tune with my values? Is my energy flowing where I want it to go? Because wealth in its truest form begins as a state of alignment. And from there, it finds its way into everything else, quietly, naturally, lastingly.